In 2026, if you don't have a personal brand for your business, product, or offer, then you're going to be left behind. You're going to go bankrupt and be forgotten just like Kodak. So let me start with the short story on Kodak cameras, right? Kodak was the first company to make the digital camera, but they were going so hard in film cameras, they said, no, we're going to stick with what we know is working right now. While all the other companies, Sony, Canon, picked up digital cameras, Kodak stayed with film because that was what was in. But they didn't want to change. They didn't want to change from film to digital. So guess what? The ones who did change took it all the way to the next level. And that is why Kodak is not around now, but Canon and Sony are, because they refuse to change. So you're watching this video because you're finally getting over the hump of, okay, you know what? Yes, I can have a billboard up on the side of the freeway. Yes, I can do word of mouth, but I know my business can expand tenfold if I just get on social media, if I reveal myself to the world. That is exactly what I will be teaching you in this video, how to grow a 7-figure personal brand organically so you can get organic leads to your product and offer. So what's the deal? I'm Josh Laurent. I've been building my personal brand for the last 9 years. Started on YouTube and moved to all other social media platforms. And over these 9 years, I have built my personal brand to stay relevant for as long as I'm alive, and built it, most importantly, organically. To the point where I built like a cult-like fan base who ride or die for me wherever I go, whatever I post. This has increased the value of when I do get brand deals and sponsorships. But for you who is watching this, who wants to get organic leads to your product and offer, it increases the lead flow and quality of lead flow to that product and offer because the people bought into you. And that is exactly what I will be teaching you in this video today. So I hope you came prepared. I hope you have some notes. If you do, good. If you don't, get your phone out so you can write some notes down and actually pay attention to what I have to tell you. So let's start from the beginning. What is a personal brand? A personal brand is revealing yourself to the world on social media. Okay? It's that simple. Personal brand is you posting on social media, making content, right? YouTube, Instagram, maybe TikTok. All social media platforms, it is making sure you are putting your face in front of the people who need to see your face. That is exactly what your personal brand is. And so how do you grow a successful personal brand? What do you start with? Well, first you have to make the pages. This is going to be a very simple breakdown because it is simple. The hardest part is always in the mind, and the hardest part in the mind is just starting. Once you start, it's like a snowball effect. So once you make your pages, make sure you don't go with a fake name. Actually use your name because you want to think about this 5-10 years in the future, right? 5-10 years in the future, when you do have a fan base, you're out in public, what do you want people to call you? I have some clients who come to me and they do car content, and when they first came to me, their Instagram name was literally their car. That's it. So when you get big, because you work with me now, 5 years, 10 years down the line, you want people to be calling you a BMW when you're whipping a Koenigsegg Jesko? No. So you need to have a name that you want people to call you when they see you 10 years down the line, because you will be mega successful because you have watched this video. So you make your pages, you figure out your name, and now it's actually time to get the content out there. So here are the 3 pillars to having a strong personal brand and actually making it. So this is what we're going to go through. Pillar number 1 is content. The most important thing to your personal brand is the content that you make, because that is the strongest pillar. Nobody will see you if you don't have any content to watch in the first place, right? So it's the content that you make. A lot of people go wrong when it comes to content because they're thinking, okay, well, if I need to make content, how do I get views? Their first mindset is getting views on their content to get more followers. But if you're posting with a purpose, you have a personal brand for a purpose, views don't equate to the purpose you're trying to get. Views is like filling air in a balloon that'll just pop. The air needs somewhere to go. So if you expand it in a balloon, you point it in that direction and let the air come out of the balloon in the direction to fill something else up. You cannot just post to gain attention, but you need a path, a direction for the attention to go to. So how do you make this content with that direction then? Well, the best way to have that direction, the best way to gain the attention in it is sharing your story. That is the most important piece that your content needs. It is your story, who you are, where you are going. You understand why these TV shows can last for 10 years. 10 years people will watch a TV show because they're addicted to the characters and the story of that TV show. They really like them. So your personal brand is making your story, your life, a TV show on social media that people can follow along with. But guess what? Instead of just entertaining people, you are actually giving them value in your content. So now you are looking to improve somebody's life. And now you may say, what do you mean giving value? So if you don't get the gist yet, I built my personal brand on kingdom values, meaning my Father in heaven, Jesus Christ values. So how do I build on his values? Well, this is the number one value that we follow in our personal brand, is to serve others. So our content is only to serve others, giving them value, having an impact, a true impact on somebody's life. That is the most important thing we can do. Therefore, we are putting God's righteousness first, and everything we want will be added onto us. On our content, we move in this way, that we serve others every single day. We give our business, we give our personal brand, we give our life and surrender it to Jesus Christ. So now he is a co-owner of our life, our business, everything that we do. And so this is our work each and every day in our content, is to serve those who are watching us. And the Lord will show up in the outcome. He will tell you what you need to place, what you need to do. All you have to focus on is serving those in your content. And you will have the systems built out. Hopefully, if you're running an offer, built out for the DM funnel, the link funnel, whatever it is, to get those leads rolling in and actually get them to close. Your job is to show up in the task the Lord set before you today. And that task with your personal brand is your content and revealing your story, yourself to the world, and giving value to the person who is watching that piece of content to genuinely impact their life. The Lord will take care of the rest on the outcome and everything that is. So now that you have the content down packed, and of course inside the content too, we got value down packed. Now you need to add a little bit of results. People like to call this LARPing, but LARPing is when you post on Instagram like you have mysterious income. That's the dumbest thing you could do because you won't get any sales to that. You may get some brand deals because they like your clout, but if you're in your personal brand to actually get sales and multiply your business, you don't want to be a LARP. If you're in there to get sponsorships and brand deals, LARPing is good for the views. That could work. But this strategy is what I call showing results. So it's the same thing LARPers would do, is post pictures of their life and the videos, but what you're doing is showing the result of your action that you took, your business that you have, the offer that you are giving to people, which has the solution they need to get to where you are. You're showing your life that's a result of that. So how do you show results and not come off like a LARPer in your content? You post the value stuff so people understand you have value, you know what you're talking about, and the results is this. I teach you how to build a 7-figure personal brand organically to get organic leads while building on kingdom principles, which is Jesus Christ. And this is the result of it. You see the video, I am sitting in my condo right now. You see the view, Miami skyline, lit. On this side, you can barely see it. Look through the window. You can see the ocean right there. This is the result. So if you watch a clip they call LARP on Instagram, people will come in here and just record it. What do you do? How do you make that money? How are you there? They don't know. But you guys see my results of where my work has gotten me, where my Father has placed me in. My Father is God, who is the King of the universe, by the way, every time I say it and give him his glory. This is the result of that work that I do. Now you understand. So you see where I am. It's subconsciously hidden to you. It's subconsciously why you see I have the authority to teach you exactly what I know, because you see the results that has gotten me, and you're like, if he got these results, okay, I want these results as well. And that's why you're still listening to me, because I know what I'm talking about and I have the results to go with it. So it's the same with you. You need to give the value, but also show the life that you live right now so people can see the results of what you have to offer. And when people see those results, you don't tell them, well, this is where I live. No, it hits subconsciously for them that they see the life you're living, the environment you're in, and they go, okay, I want to live that life. I want to live that environment. It obviously works for him. So let me hit him up because he knows what he's talking about and let him be my mentor. Or let me get the product that he has that helped him achieve the results that he achieved in his life. Those two things in your content go hand in hand. Those are the most important things you need for content. And that is what your content is going to consist of. Because in your content, you're not looking to go viral. You don't want to hit a viral video, even though you will, but your goal isn't to go viral. Your goal is to serve others. And the Lord has the outcome. Your goal is to show up in your content every single day and serve those who had the problem you did, but give them the solution to it. And the Lord will take care of the outcome, and you will see the leads begin to flow in organically, because your personal brand is just revealing your life to the world. Who you are, who God made you to be. You reveal that to the world, bro. You don't worry about what anybody else got going on. You don't worry about what's trending right now. You don't worry about how to get views. You worry about revealing yourself to the world, giving value to those and serving those who are watching you, and just show your regular life every single day as the result of what you do. And the Lord will take care of the outcome and the rest. But make sure you have your systems and everything set up. We just focused on the content right now. The Lord has to show up with what you give him to show up with, okay? So that is the content piece down packed. Those are the two things for content. But another thing, right? So you may say, okay, well, you say give value, show results, but what if my results are only attracting people who aren't interested in what I do? And I'm giving value, and is value just motivation? So do I give motivation to people to not give up? But how, if I motivate people, how will they know about my offer? And this goes into the second pillar. And the second pillar of building a 7-figure personal brand is being intentional. So you have your content, you give value, you serve others, and you show your results, but you have to be intentional in that content as well. The intention is like the road, okay? Say you have an open field and you're like, okay, which way do I go to get out of this field? I can't see, it stretches for miles. The intention is the road in the field that leads straight to the exit. That's what the intention is in your content. So how can you be intentional in your content? Being intentional in your content is pointing in a direction for the people who need what you have to offer. For example, let's say you are a day trader, okay? And you want to run a day trading offer and just show people how to trade and be profitable. So instead of your content being, man, I show up every day at 6 a.m., make sure I lock in, y'all can do it, man, you can do it too. Instead of showing up motivational, you're only attracting the brokies who need motivation to win. We all know winners don't need motivation. We just need a clear roadmap. You say, I'm showing up today, this is what I'm trading. Okay, we hit TP, we lit. Something on the lines of that, bro. You're being intentional. Now your content is being pointed towards people who are interested in trading. So instead of pointing towards the masses, you're pointing to your specific group who needs what you have to offer. And so they'll see how good you are in your content because you're serving them, giving them value. Do this trade today. This is what I'm doing. This is the mindset that got me into trading. I learned in trading I have to be patient. So this is what I'm doing. This is the value you're giving to your content. And you see how you have the intention in it subconsciously. This is the mindset that got me to be profitable in trading. So now you see how you're pointing your mindset to traders. This is what helped me trade. So the slight intention in your content will boost the leads you have to your product and offer if it's a day trading offer substantially, bro. Insane. It will be through the roof if you do that. So that's the important thing that you have to do. You have to be intentional in the content. Instead of motivating the masses, serve those with how you came up with the solution to the problem you had in your content intentionally to those who need your exact solution. That is content, and that is the intention in the content. That is, you're in the field, you need to go that way, and now you have the road leading you straight towards the exit. Okay, well, I need to lead 100 people behind me, and nobody knows how to walk forward without a leader leading the way. There's hundreds of people who make the same content that I can make. How can I get people to my offer, to my product, if somebody else has coconut water as well? Well, this is the third pillar you need to build a 7-figure personal brand, and it's the authority in your content. The authority appoints you as the leader to lead everybody else down the road in the field to the exit. And if you don't have authority in your content, nobody will trust you to lead them to the exit. Now, how do you build this authority? It goes into the pillars of the content. You build authority by genuinely having an impact on somebody's life. When you can genuinely change somebody's life and change their way of thinking. So when you build authority in your content, it looks a little something like this. You see how I did that? Looks like me if you didn't catch it. Because you're still here watching this video. You're still here watching my content as I teach you to build a 7-figure personal brand. Because you're actually interested and you're actually like, okay, I genuinely need this. That is the authority you need to have in your content. And how you build authority is give value, serve others, and then show the results of what you have. And that puts you in the authority position that you know what you're doing and you know that you can get somebody to win. You know that you're a winner. So, content, intention, and authority, which is your positioning and your content. You should position yourself as the authority figure in what you do. And how you do that is the 2 pillars in content is serving others and showing the results while having the attention pointed to the people you need to lead. A deer isn't going to lead a pack of wolves, they're going to eat it. But the leader wolf leads the other pack of wolves. So your content should be intentional to the pack of wolves because you're a wolf yourself. Do you understand? And so those are the 3 pillars to build a successful, a 7-figure personal brand. If you focus on those 3 things, your personal brand will bring in so many leads. And this is how I bring in dozens of leads. This is how I got my A+ clients. Qualified leads, by the way, as well, by just posting my content, being intentional in it, and positioning myself as the authority in my content. Because I've been doing this for 9 years. I've stretched across different niches of content and still stay relevant when I'm bigger than the Island Boys now because they fell off. I'm still that guy and I'm still on because of these 3 pillars that I just taught you now. And this is exactly what you need to implement into your personal brand, and you will be relevant for a lifetime. So, you have your personal brand. Now you're like, okay, I want to start making content. I need to make the content now. We're going to go over and break down some tips to actually get you rolling, get you started. If you're already rolling and you're not seeing results, which is why you're watching this video right here, because you know I get you the results, this is for you as well. These are the things you need to tweak. So, in your content, what is the most important way in 2026, by the way, to make content now? You probably sit here and think, or already doing, that you need a super big production team. And you got this huge production team who's going to make everything perfect. And all your videos are going to look like a movie. And then you wonder why you have no leads. Because that's not what people are buying. Especially now because AI has entered the equation. AI makes everything perfect. AI gives the information. You tell AI, make me this YouTube thumbnail. AI made my YouTube thumbnail that you're watching right now. You tell them that, it does it perfectly. So if somebody wants AI, they'll just go look at an AI video. Why would somebody watch somebody who has a perfect life that isn't giving them any value? But I guarantee you the best way to position yourself as authority and also get people to trust you and build a cult-like following through your personal brand is yapping videos. You probably heard this a lot. You probably don't believe it. You probably do and have tried it, but it hasn't worked for you because you aren't filming the yapping videos in the right way, right? And it's very simple. This is a very simple fix. What you need to do in your yapping videos, here, demonstration, my iPhone is right here in my hand. I set it up like this. First and foremost, in your yapping videos, you want to feel like you're on FaceTime with your ICP, the person you are talking to. So when you sit on FaceTime, you'll sit like this. You'll probably set your phone down on whatever's in front of you and speak like this, talking to them. You want it to feel like a FaceTime call because this brings in relatability, this brings in friendship, this brings in and boosts the trust of the person who is watching your content. And as you're speaking your content, you're intentional to who you're speaking to, but speak like a friend, bro. You're not in a business meeting, you're speaking to the homie on FaceTime. So you need to act like it. That is what brings in people. It actually has people trust you and actually want to shop with whatever you have to offer them. And if you're doing this for brand deals and sponsorships, that gets people to trust you and builds especially a cult-like fan base who will follow you through whatever you need to lead them through. So stop focusing on being professional and focus on human interaction. AI is robots and perfect. Humans are flawless. Not flawless, but humans have flaws. So dive into that human aspect of yourself and reveal that to people and share that with people, that you have the same flaws that they may have, but this is how you built yourself to be a stronger person, and this is the results of what you have. This is how you did it. You're showing that. I'm just like you, but this is how I did it, and you could do it too if you get the solution that I have to offer you. You will do it 10 times faster. I know exactly what's wrong. That is how you position yourself in your content, bro. That gives you the authority, and you're doing it like a homie on FaceTime, and your content just speaking like this. So in your yapping videos, you need to make sure these two things: that your camera is actually positioned in a FaceTime way, and that you have good lighting. Please have a good background with good lighting. See, this is just a result of what I do, being a winner with a 7-figure personal brand who trusts my Father in heaven. So of course, this is the result of what I do. This is what you see, right? My life, regular life. I set you guys up on the table and said, let me give them some value. Let me serve the person who's watching me today. That is exactly what this is. But you also notice that I have good lighting, and that puts me in a position. I have a good background and I have good lighting. That is exactly what you need. So many people go and try to post content online with this super terrible boo-boo lighting, and then wonder why their content doesn't convert well at all, or gets any views, or they get any new followers. It's because your background sucks, bro. You're sitting in it's nighttime, and you're in a room with yellow walls, and you have yellow light on. Like, that's gross, bro. And then you're sitting opposite of the light in the first place, so we can barely see you, and you look like a shadow. And then you think you're supposed to get views and followers off of that? You're being an eyesore, bro. You're an eyesore. So you need to make sure you have good lighting. And let's say you don't have a fire background. Let's say you don't have a home office. You should have a home office, but your background then needs to be a plain wall. A plain white wall to where you have good lighting set up and you're talking on FaceTime. That is authority right there. Because now you're positioning yourself in the authority way by giving your value. Nothing else matters in your video. You think you need to make content with this background, with it looking crazy, with a bust down Rolex on. No, this stuff doesn't matter in your video. What matters is the value that you give. What matters is being the person God made you to be, revealing that to the world. What matters is serving others, because serving others stores up treasures in heaven. So it's not the worldly material things that you see what matters, bro. That's just a byproduct of your treasures in heaven. but it matters what's coming out of you. For what goes into a man doesn't defile him, but what comes out of the man does. Because what comes out of him comes from his heart, bro. So the worldly things don't matter for your content. It doesn't. You need to shift the focus to who you are, and you matter in your content. It's about the value you give and who you are. You are your personal brand. If you are your personal brand, then none of this stuff matters. You matter. So in our personal brand, we follow this analogy. God is the earth. You are the tree. And the branches are the things of your endeavors that you reveal. So in our personal brand, we have it stacked like a pyramid, a foundation. Jesus Christ is our foundation. In him, we have eternal life. In him, that is the principles that we follow in our life because we put his righteousness first. And then we are the tree. Now we have a solid foundation to where we're rooted in, and we are the tree, and we can grow as big and long as we want because we have no limits, because our foundation has no limits. So we are the main attention. And the branches is your product and offer what you like. Me, for example, I like clothes. I don't really care about jewelry. This was just a dream watch since I was 16 years old, so I just had to do it. I was 16, wanted this bad, I had to do it. But I love cars. So let's stick with that. I used to always tell people when I vlogged, my videos are my life, but it's all around cars. That was what my life was, okay? That was what my YouTube career was. So, the cars are the branches. The tree is what you see if you look miles out. You'll see a big fat tree, and then you'll see branches that look beautiful. But the branches have no life without the tree. And the tree has no life without the earth. So you need them all. Now we're rooted, and the attention now, when you look out, is on us. But you see the leaves waving in the distance, like a palm tree. So the leaves catches people's attention, and the attention goes on to, okay, what actually produced these leaves? Boom, the tree trunk. And the tree trunk is the thing that's beautiful. That's the one that gives life, as the earth gives life to the tree trunk. Do you understand that our personal brand is us, bro? So the attention is always us. The most valuable thing in our content is always us and who we are. And we use our asset, the branches, to grab people's attention. So we use our environments, where the Lord places us, our results, to grab the attention. We use our heart desires, what we like. Some of you might actually like jewelry. You know? Hello. I like fashion too, clothes. I like cars. So I use the fashion, I use the clothes to grab people's attention, pull them in, and hit them with the message. Hit them with the service I have to offer them. And when you do that, you'll have somebody who's not looking for exactly the message that you're saying, but they do like the cars that you like. And so they'll watch the video expecting the car, and you hit them with the message, and you unexpectedly change somebody's life. And when you change somebody's life and have an impact on them just like that, boom, treasure in heaven. What comes down as a byproduct? Bam, a heart desire. Because you stored up a treasure in heaven, and our Father in heaven knows that you can steward well without using these to go astray from him. Because now your mindset isn't on, oh, well, I need to get views so I can get money. It's on, well, let me serve the people who are watching me today, and my Father will have the outcome for me at the end. The mindset shift of who you are and what your personal brand is what gives you the success. It's not necessarily following the world standard of hustle, but the showing up and taking the necessary steps every day and fulfilling the task the Lord set before you, so he can fulfill the outcome that he has for you. That is what is important, and that is what your personal brand is. Your personal brand is you and who you are, revealing that to the world. And when you get intentional with your content, when you position yourself in an authority, then you are able to sell whatever you have to offer because people trust you, they see you as a friend, they know your life, they heard your story, and they are with you. So now you have the understanding of, okay, this is the pillars I need to set my personal brand on, and understand that my personal brand is me, who I am, and revealing that to the world. And the most valuable thing you have in your personal brand is who you are and the value that comes out of you. That's the most valuable thing in your videos. You understand all of this now. And now it's just about showing up, bro. Showing up every single day. Well, you may say, oh, bro, but showing up in content every day, bro, how do I know what to say? Bro. Simple, okay? Let me break this down for you. What are you thinking right now?
How to make content. I'm thinking, well, that's a right good answer. Or a question. I'm thinking that's a good question. What do I know how to say?
You just made yourself a video. You just made yourself a content right there. And if you start off with one a day, you got your idea right there.
Josh, what do you mean? What do you mean I already made my content today? With what? I didn't even think of that. I just asked, that's a good question. How do I show up every day?
Because your content is your thoughts. And you're taking your thoughts captive and speaking it out. Remember, what defiles a man is what comes out of him. For what comes out of him comes from his heart. So take what's captive and make it come out of you. And let it be positive because we follow Jesus Christ. So let it serve others because we follow his kingdom principle. You don't know what to post. You just learned, that's a good question. What should I speak about today? That's your content. Guys, I don't know what to speak about today, but I did learn that my content is just my thoughts and revealing that to the world. And so if I just have to start to speak on this, that I'm sharing with you guys, that you can really create anything just as our Father in heaven did. He, with just the word, he created the whole universe. And you created content with just words that you held captive and took out of you. Boom. Simple. You just got your video. You just got your video because now you understand that your content is only your thoughts. It's that simple. What thought did you have today?
Well, I had a bunch. Because if I'm a day trader, if I'm a fitness coach, well, some people like to have their macros right. So if people want to have their macro right, well, this is what I do for macros, and this is the result I got from that.
Boom, okay. But that's your content right there, bro. You ate a food a week ago, you tried it, and you looked in the mirror, saw your abs, and you seen the improvement. That's your content right there. You're taking your thoughts captive and putting them into words and making the words come out of you. You're creating your thoughts into reality. That is what your personal brand is. That is your content each and every day. So you get used to capturing your thoughts and making them into reality and creating it to the world with the authority God gave you. Then it's easy to show up more than once a day because you have thousands of thoughts a day on how you can be a better person at what you do. And share those thoughts with people because now it's sharing where you are now, your story, your journey, where you came from, but this is what you're doing to get to the goal you have set ahead. That is your content. Your thoughts are your content. Remember, you take them captive and make them into reality by creating them into words and spitting them out. And spitting your thoughts out makes a shift in the world, and it hits somebody else's soul, and it brings them life. That is what your thoughts are, bro. You have your content now. That is how you show up in your content every day. So you know how to do your content. You know the 3 pillars to a 7-figure personal brand, 8-figure, 9-figure, 10-figure. You know the 3 pillars. You know how to make the content. You know how to be intentional. You know how to position yourself in your content to actually get organic leads and build that cult-like fan base. And now you understand how to show up every day in your content. So your yapping videos, you have a thought instantly. It's on your spirit. You're feeling it. Yap it out. Say it plainly. You understand how to do all of this now. That is what your personal brand is. So you take away all of this stuff and you put the value
the attention on you, and while people are looking at you like this,
you are impacting somebody's life with the information, the thoughts that you had, and you made into a reality, and it hits them and changes their life and impacts their life. And you lead them down the path God needs them to be because they're watching your content and you're intentional in your content, of course. And bam, treasure in heaven. Bam, a heart desire. Because not only is your story there to show people that you know what you're talking about and where you've been through, God has given you your specific story to build you into the person who needs to steward well the kingdom of God that lives in them with the talents God gave them. Your story isn't just to help other people, but it's to build you. So that's why you're revealing your story, because now you're helping other people build. You have the answers that they're looking for, and you give them the answer to change their life. And that stores up a treasure in heaven. Because each treasure in heaven, you have to get to a certain point in your life to be able to achieve that reward in heaven. You have to have been through something to change somebody's life to do that. And what you've been through actually refines you in the fire to steward well the byproduct of that treasure in heaven that you have received now. That is what the journey is for. That is your story that you're revealing to the world. So now you're helping somebody else who went through the same thing you did, and you get to store up a treasure in heaven. Amazing. And it becomes a byproduct. The world, what you want in the world, becomes a byproduct of that. Now you understand, bro. Everything you need to actually get started, get rolling on building a 7-figure personal brand, especially in the big 2026. You know this is what you need to do. You understand that, right? But there are a few shortcuts that you can take to actually make your personal brand grow faster than what it will. Because revealing yourself to the world, you're not doing what the world does, but you're serving others. So it's only a few people who want to be helped. You should understand this. You can't help everybody. A lot of people like to remain poor. They like to remain comfortable. So when you reach out your hand, hey, I'm here to help you, you can't help everybody. So you're not in a niche of everybody. So you won't get a bunch of random followers soon. But that's good, because your business doesn't need random followers. It needs clients. But there's 2 things you can do to boost your personal brand even faster than what the growth will be. And the first thing is collabs, linking up with people. And now, having a personal brand boosts this and makes this so much easier to have a good network with people. Because in my personal brand, right, I'm able to link up with A players, network with the best people on social media, because I also have a big following. And we understand business is a value exchange. So I have value because I garner attention through my personal brand. And I have wisdom and understanding from my Father in heaven that He granted to me. So people see my value. They know I have this value because I reveal it to the world through my content, who I am. And they see the attention that I have. So people are more likely to link up with me, which they do, because they understand the value I have, because my value is in their face. That's a big important piece of a personal brand. So the more you grow, the more you're able to link up with valuable people, because they see your personal brand is doing numbers. They're able to see who you are as a person and what value you bring to the table. Because we all know, no successful person like us watching this is going to link up with somebody who brings no value to them. That's just how it is. I don't care if you have the spirit to work hard. What are you bringing to the table, bro? You're just going to leech off of me. I get nothing from you. Nothing changes in my life, but my energy is zapped into you, and you probably won't even do anything with it in the first place. So I wasted a whole day talking to you, linking with you, and you aren't going to do anything to transform your life. So why would I link with you? But somebody with a strong personal brand, someone with a personal brand that pulls in numbers, gets attention. Well, this other person might need the attention that you have. And so they'll reach out to you and say, hey, bro, let's link up. Come hop on the podcast. Let's talk. Now it's a value exchange, because you know if you go on the podcast, his crowd will watch you and your crowd will watch him. It's a value exchange. And instead of using money to link up with people, You can use the attention you garnish your fan base through your personal brand, and especially your content showing the value that you do have to give. You can use that as a bargaining tool, as a value exchange for business. So linking up with people is very important. But let's say you don't have the biggest personal brand. Well, what's the best way to do it? Collabing with people who are already in the same position that you are in. Because two are stronger than one. And you collab your way up to the top, because now you're taking somebody's whole total fan base and pointing their attention on you. And you gain new followers from that. So the fast way to go up is hopping on the podcast, is doing collabs with people. Right? So collabs, podcasts, everything, and you use your personal brand to get into those rooms. So you don't have to pay thousands of dollars. You use the value that you already have to get into the room with the person who you know will take you to the next level. The second point is having a mentor. Having a mentor that teaches you to build a 7-figure personal brand. Me, Josh Laurent, I'm your mentor. I'm here to teach you. That's why you're watching this video, by the way. Will tell you and teach you, stop making this content, it looks dumb, but actually do this. This is what you need to focus on. I think it's self-explanatory. We all know what a mentor brings to the table when we actually need help on what we want to do. It's self-explanatory. A lot of people think they get offers by saying, hey man, if you're struggling, well, come over here, I'll make you better. When you don't want to attract people that are struggling because they don't have the money to pay for your offer in the first place. So you have a mentor that tells you, don't say struggling and down bad, but fix it to, if you're doing 10K a month, but you want to hit 50K a month, well, I have this system and I can show you how. So now you're reaching people who have the money to invest, but also want to be better. That's what a mentor does, because that probably took you 5 months to figure out why your content is only bringing in unqualified leads, and I just solved that problem for you right then and there. But that is the basics of how you build a 7-figure personal brand. Because whatever your personal brand is at now, you follow these, you will automatically hit 7 figures. I did it myself. You can 100% do it. And if you want more in depth, like I hinted at to you, having a mentor, you can apply with the link in the description to work with me, actually one-on-one. I will be coaching you 100% on building your personal brand so you don't make the same mistakes that I did over my 9 years, right? Of not posting in the right direction. But we get your content down packed, you're intentional, so you're hitting the right people, the right qualified leads who need exactly what you have to offer. You're getting the views, you're getting the followers automatically, and you're having people stick to you and actually be interested in what your content is and what you're posting. Because we have a bunch of good clients inside already who are day traders, fashion, one does electrical, all across the board, but the same mission: to build our personal brand, to get organic leads, and glorify our Father in heaven by working on kingdom principles. And if that sounds like the group for you, Saint University is 100% for you. And you work with me one-on-one as well. I want you guys to use what I taught you in this video, and then when you do, after a week, come back to this video and comment down below the results you've seen and the change you've seen in your personal brand from actually implementing what I taught you here in this video. And I hope you guys did enjoy this. I know you learned a lot. I'm not gonna say, oh, I hope you learned a lot. No, I know you learned a lot, and I know you're gonna implement this, and I can't wait to see the results that you get from this. And if you are ready to take it a more in-depth with yourself, apply to work with me one-on-one, and we'll get you those results you need. 10x, 20x, bro. And you'll be relevant for 20 years. You won't have to worry about falling off. We don't do that. That's one of the things I teach my clients, is our game plan is to be around in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, as long as we're alive. That's a huge focus over here, building on kingdom principles. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments the results you get from this video, and I will catch you on our one-on-one opening call when you apply to work with me in the link in the description. Let's get it.